You're listening to the Handcrafted Therapy Podcast with massage therapist and business owner, Julie Alexander. That's me. I'm your host. I've been a massage therapist for 17 years, and I have a business marketing degree. On this podcast, we'll be interviewing industry professionals that can talk to us about how to run your business better, how to be a better massage therapist overall, and how to take care of yourself and give yourself a little love, a little self-care, little grace in your life. I am so glad that you're here. Thanks so much for joining us today. Thank you for joining me, Maria. Maria is a very dear friend of mine. We went to massage school together, and I'm super excited to have her on my podcast. She is a force of nature. She is a beauty and a passion within our massage industry. So thank you for joining us, Maria.
Thank you for inviting me. It's such an honor to be here with you today.
Oh, you guys should have seen us in massage school. We were trouble.
Oh, yes.
We had all the questions and all the answers all at the same time.
And we wanted to do deep tissue massage the whole entire time, even before we learned it.
It's true. It's true. But, we've come a long way. Her and I both have our own businesses now. And one thing that I really admire about Maria is that she's a hustler. She's innovative. She thinks outside the box. Well, there's not even a box.
Not for us.
But, one thing I really want to talk to you about, Maria, especially with our listeners, because our listeners are mainly massage therapists and business owners. I want to talk about how to think outside the box or think outside of your own practice and how you've been innovative in thinking of new ways to help serve your clients. Can you talk a little bit about how you do that and what you're doing?
Yes, absolutely. So massage therapy, as you know, it's one of my greatest loves and passions. But my love for helping people is the biggest passion of all and my real calling. And so there was a lot of things that my community needed and that I've been exposed to in the past as growing up. In my culture, we're exposed to herbs, we're exposed to natural medicine. And so I wanted to bring other aspects of natural healing into my massage practice to help my clients live a better quality of life without them having to go elsewhere. And usually going elsewhere meant thousands and thousands of dollars. So if they could come see me and I could do a coaching health section for them right before or after their massage therapy session or a different modality that I'll go into in a few minutes, then that would save everybody a lot of time and money. And they will be so much happier and live a better quality of life, which that's what I'm trying to bring into my practice and inspire other massage therapists to go into as well.
I love it. I mean, I just think that's such a good way to run a business is to think about the problems that you can solve for your clients rather than trying to force your services or your own ideas on your clients. You're doing the reverse. You're saying, what's your issues? What are your problems? And then thinking of outside the box solutions to help them that may not cost thousands of dollars. So that's awesome. So proud of you in so many ways. Maria and I have not really been in contact as often as I think we would both like to be since we graduated because, for several reasons. But one of the reasons is Maria had two beautiful children since her massage school experience. And I know it's been a challenge for you to balance life between your profession and your family. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes, definitely. It's been a real challenge. I have a condition called, well, it's with my cervix. So it's my cervix doesn't work really well. So I had premature children. And so as a cause of that, and being a cancer survivor myself, I've had tremendous challenges having kids. And so my oldest son, he's on the spectrum. He is very high functioning, but I've had a lot of health challenges with him, and it kept me really busy and trying to balance both having a business, maintaining my clientele, maintaining my health, my personal balance within myself, which has been really, really hard, and also looking for solutions for my son. He is actually the driving force that has inspired me to include a lot of the services that I offer now in my business, like herbalism. I became certified in herbalism. I do a lot of herbs, a lot of tinctures with him for detoxification. I've done a lot of teas for his respiratory system, for allergies, elderberry syrup. I mean, I had to make everything from scratch because of all the issues with toxicity. So he has been really a driving force for me, as well as my daughter. My 2-year-old has all kinds of food allergies, chemical allergies. So I have to make everything from soaps to creams to body butters, even my candles that I make now to offer to other people. I make them myself because of, I can't burn a candle that you buy at a regular retailer because of the toxins in it. And my daughter would just break out like crazy. So it's really inspired me to live a cleaner life myself and to really educate other people in my business, in my clientele, in my family, in my community, that there's other ways to do things, and even to teach workshops about these things to help them learn how to make them themselves. So that's in the works pretty soon too.
I love that so much. I mean, because you're giving them the tools to help themselves. It's like the phrase, teach a man to fish and he can feed himself for the rest of his life. Give the man a fish and he can only have one meal, right? So,
Absolutely.
I mean, and a lot of massage therapists, well, let's just say healthcare professionals in general, seem to not have that kind of mentality. We want them to continue to come back and receive our services, but yet we don't give them the tools to help them on their own between massages or between therapeutic sessions. And so I think that's a very effective and efficient way to help your client help themselves. And
Yes.
I'm excited about all the things that you're doing. And I wish that other people would do them as well, especially with, having 2 children that are very special in their needs and finding ways to be passionate about your business through the passion that comes with your children. And I think it's just an amazing way to find a way to heal other people. So congratulations on that, Maria.
Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you.
I do want to tell a quick story that's really funny between Maria and I. And this is just kind of a bonus for this. And I didn't even tell Maria I was going to tell this story, but she probably knows which one I'm going to tell. Okay. So we were working at a really high-end luxury hotel in Dallas, downtown Dallas. It was a brand new hotel at the time. And we had a couples massage that we were working together. And this couple came in and they weren't married. They were dating, but they were older, a little older. And apparently the guy was kind of a goofball. And Maria was working on the man and I was working on the woman. And we had this protocol where you're supposed to waft the oil in front of their nose with a little tube, and there's 4 different smells. We're already laughing. And the guy saw her smelling the tubes of oil, and he was not paying attention to what Maria was saying at all. And she was a consummate professional in the whole thing. And the guy goes, "Well, I want what she's having." I think he thought that I was giving her something to drink, because those shots that come in those test tubes. And so Maria was like, "Okay, well, I'll change course and we'll do the oils then." And so she gets the oils out, and he immediately just chugs the oil. And she was so professional about it. She was like, "It's okay. It's made with all natural products. I think you're going to be fine. Just make sure to drink plenty of water later." And so the woman was like laughing hysterically. So we continue on with our professionalism and our services, and we start working, doing the massage. And all of a sudden, I'm working on the woman's back, and I feel her back just start to, like, she's laughing. Her back is moving, and she just starts giggling. And then the whole room starts laughing hysterically. And by the end of the massage, we're trying to keep our shit together, because we've been laughing like the whole hour about this guy drinking oil. And we're finally at a point where, okay, the massage is over. We're calmed down. Maria says, "Okay, we need to make sure to drink plenty of water after your massage." And I said, "Well, oil and water don't mix." And like, we just busted out laughing. It was hysterically funny, and I hope you enjoyed that little funny story about our massage experience. But that's something I really enjoyed about with you, is that we always had such fun times.
Oh my gosh, yes.
It was really, really fun. Okay, so tell me a little bit more about the modalities that you work with and your homemade products.
Okay, so of course, I do massage therapy, and within massage therapy, I mix, so it's kind of like a customized session for the client. So I offer purely different modalities of massage therapy: deep tissue, trigger point, hot stone, reflexology. I also do tuning fork therapy, which is sound healing, and the singing bowls, along with energy medicine. So energy healing includes Reiki techniques that I've learned, but mostly in an energy healing session, I do, it's called South American shamanism. And there are different techniques that are ancestral healing practices from South America to really bring out a lot of the trauma that's stored within our energy field and nervous system. So I work a lot with the nervous system with those type of techniques. I also do a lot of emotional release through the shamanic coaching that goes along with the energy shamanic healing. And then I do yoni steaming, which Julie and I just love, which is it's herbs, but it's meant to help. It's for men too, but it's mostly for women. It's for our sacred yoni, which is our vagina health. So I do a lot of that in my practice for different ailments, infections, different things that women need in that department. I also do salt therapy, which is called halotherapy, and it's respiratory hygiene. So I put you in this beautiful infrared sauna that has this halo generator that grinds up the salt. And as you sit there and relax and meditate with beautiful music and light therapy, it relaxes your nervous system as you breathe in the salt, mimicking like if you were in the ocean. So that's really good for your lungs, your skin, for skin conditions, and for detoxification at a cellular level. Another thing that I do is ionic foot detoxing. And that's kind of like the beginning. If somebody wants to start detoxing, wanting to live a healthier life, we would start that route and then go with the herbs, with the tinctures, with the recommendations on supplements, which I don't sell. I just literally just give people the list. And like Julie said, I give them the tools. And if they want to do it, I just leave it up to them. And that's all I do. They can ask me the next time, if they're doing it, I ask them how they're doing, but I kind of create a less codependent practice. And I tell them, I love to see you, but I would also love to see other people that need my services. So the better you get, the faster you get, the more people I can get in here without the fear of just keeping the same clients all the time. We have to open the door and say, you got to get better. You can't just get stuck in that funk. You're getting addicted to your own pain. So I try to encourage my clients to really take charge in their health holistically with all those modalities, which is
That
a
makes
lot.
sense. Yeah, you're offering tools that help facilitate their healing through their own bodies and not just through your hands. And
Yeah.
so I think that's special for them and you both. Um, and I love the fact that, you are cycling through new clients and they're coming in, they're getting what they need from you and moving on with their life and not being addicted to that pain. So I'm so thankful that we have you in the world, because if you're listening to this and you're a massage therapist and you're wanting more information about any of these things, I mean, go on to Google and start doing some research, because Maria has really taken the bull by the horns and done this on her own. I mean, I'm just so impressed by all the things that you've really taken initiative in learning. And I think part of this has come, and you've mentioned this a couple times, come from your culture, and it's part of your history and part of you as a person. Do you want to talk a little bit about your culture?
Yes. I'm originally from Mexico. I came to the United States when I was 10 years old. So English is my second language. And my background in my culture is really, native Mexican and Spanish, but I really did a lot of native herbs and massages when I was little. My mom, the treatment that we got when we had a tummy ache was for my mom to take me to the massage lady down the street. I mean, and she did some myofascial release on my back, pulled my skin off of my spine, then did some pulling and decompression, almost like a chiropractor. But I mean, this was the treatment if somebody had tummy issues back when I was little. And then she would give me an herbal tea, because then she said, well, you have parasites because you ate too much candy or you swallowed that bubble gum, So we would, just drink it, and you didn't really go to the doctor unless you were almost dying or you had the mumps or chicken pox or, something like that. So to me, I think right now, our society here in the United States, it's too over medicated and too dependent on the medical doctors, which, really the people that need to be there is the people that really need it. There's a lot of people that don't really need to be going to the doctor, that just need to come to get good massage therapy and alternative treatments to help their body come back into balance. And then most of the problems are solved through that. And then if they're not, then we refer them out to those who do other things that we can't do, that is literally out of our scope of practice, which I also do. I send them to acupuncturists, chiropractors, osteopaths. I've sent them to regular doctors. So I tell them, I don't know what's going on here. Go get checked, go to your doctor. That's not my scope of practice. So we have to also learn what the fine line in that is, and really also push and help them that way. But yeah, my culture is literally like, heal yourself first before you go to the doctor, and you have all the tools in nature first, and then you move on to the next chapter.
Yeah, amazing. I love it. And, Maria, you taught for a little bit. You taught massage therapy for a little while. You've had quite a journey in your massage therapy practice since we graduated several years ago.
Yes.
Now, you've mentioned your children being an inspiration for you with your practice now. Has there been other business struggles or misfortunes or things that have turned into great opportunities and learning experiences that you can share with our listeners?
Yes, definitely. I started my solo massage practice, and I was really scared at first. Let me tell you, I was so scared. I had no money. I worked at a high-end hotel with Julie years ago, and I really had to do a lot of soul searching and healing within myself first before I really went on to really get the courage to open up and expand my business. The reason why I say that is because I had to learn how to trust and really open myself up for the clients to show up for me, and not be desperate to really look for them, or be in fear that they're not coming. So it takes a lot of work to really be open and really say, hey, all of us out here have something really special to give, and the client will really come because they need you. They need your energy. They need your knowledge. They need your wisdom. They need to be on your table. So believing in yourselves is really the key. And I didn't do that the first few years of my practice. I feel like I learned a lot, but I still doubted myself. I was still in scarcity, always worrying about the money. How am I going to pay the rent? And still kept my job, my part-time job. I overkilled myself for so many years, working 2-3 jobs just because of the fear. But once I learned that, to trust myself and to really go for it, everything started coming to me through synchronicities, meeting new people that opened up these opportunities that have really taught me and taken me in this different direction of holistic healing, such as energy medicine. One of the opportunities I had was I met this awesome doctor at the Omni where I used to work. And he's the one that introduced me to shamanic healing and invited me to work with him in South America. So if I hadn't been open to that and really wanting that change in my life and in the course of my business, I would have said no, but I answered the call and I said yes. And from that moment on, I've been saying yes, because as opportunities come of learning, you say yes. Even if you don't completely go through the whole path and take it until the finish line, those things come to teach you something that is really going to help you along the way,
Yes.
So I'm really grateful for that.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, somebody once told me that investing in yourself is always a good investment. And that makes me a little emotional, because we don't give ourselves enough love, enough self compassion. We're not kind enough to ourselves. And we're not, as you were saying, it's a struggle for you to trust yourself and to know that you're going to be successful in what you do. That's a hard thing to do. Now, both of us have very successful practices now. We're both waitlisted. It takes forever to get in to see us.
Yes.
I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud of you. And I think that it's because we've learned over the years that very thing, to trust ourselves, to really invest in ourselves, take the time to learn and turn the mirror around and go, what's wrong with me right now? How can I improve myself? Because how can I help anybody else if I have this same problem? Right?
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
And the things that we have both gone through, both physically and emotionally and in our businesses, have helped us become better therapists and helped us become better business owners. And I'm so thankful for these lessons. And I really want to help our listeners learn from our mistakes.
Oh, yes.
I don't even want to call them mistakes. I want to call them opportunities. Some of the best things that have ever happened to me have been mistakes. And I'm quoting, they're not really mistakes. They're opportunities for us to learn and grow and do better. I mean, had you not had cancer and problems with your cervix, then you might not be offering that service, the yoni service. And I'm so glad that I really do think that's an underserved modality with women's health in general, whether it's when you first start your period or when you're going through menopause or anything before, during, and after those time periods. It feels like people aren't talking about it. They're ashamed to talk about it. I'm very thankful for people like you who bring it out in the open and let's talk about it.
Yes.
Habit. Men have no problem talking about their penises.
That's right.
Talking about our vaginas. They're more complicated than their penises are. So, okay, maybe we should probably get back on track. But I do believe that is an important conversation to have, though, and that I'm so glad that there are healthcare professionals out there, massage therapists like you out there talking about it and really coming from an empathetic place. Because when you go through it yourself, you can approach the client in a much more passionate, compassionate way, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I see a lot of massage therapists in my practice that come because they're burned out. And I said, well, what are you doing, that took you to be burned out? And, a lot of the things is like they don't do self-care. And that's one of the things I remember Julie and I doing once a week once we were working at the hotel. I mean, we would take one day out of the week and go get in the sauna, go do body treatments for ourselves, get a massage. It's always been really important for us. And I think that's one of the top secrets, I'm going to say, quote unquote, but it's not really a secret, that we have to take care of ourselves mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically to be able to be caretakers and in the service industry, no matter what you do with clients, because your energy needs to be full. If you come with an empty cup with a client, you're just going to be giving them even worse energy. They're going to feel worse after they leave your practice, because people do feel that.
I completely agree with you. And I have to give you complete credit for this, Maria, because I feel like, and I told you this on the phone last week, but I truly feel like you have really made a difference in me and my career because you planted the self-care seed to me at the very beginning of my massage career. I give you credit for that because we did. You were like, we're going, let's do this. We need to take care of ourselves. I don't care what your excuse is. Come on. And it's like I didn't want to go, but you helped me make it a priority because I knew, and you and I both knew going into this career that it was important that we take care of ourselves to elongate our career. And we knew it was something, number one, we knew we were good at it. We knew from day one that her and I were going to kick some ass and take some names in this industry. Yeah. And number two, we knew that putting ourselves in a position to take care of ourselves, we were going to be much better off in the longevity of our career. But we were also like I said earlier, you have to invest in yourself to be successful. You know, investing in yourself, whether it's taking a class or taking the day off to go to King Spa or whatever, investing in yourself is important. So I really am so very thankful that you've helped instill that in me from the very first day that we were together in massage school. And I really hope that somebody's listening and hearing this, because what was that, 15 years ago or so?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I got to say, it's probably the number one reason why I'm still doing massage today. So from the bottom of my heart, I love you, Maria, and I'm so thankful for you to help me do that. Because I think I really hope that this reaches at least one person out there and you hear this, to love yourself and to really take care of yourself, because you can't help others when you're hurting, whether it's mental or physical pain. And, it takes a lot of self-discipline to focus on that. You have to sacrifice sometimes less money or your less time doing something else to take care of yourself. And that is a sacrifice, but you're playing the long game.
Yeah.
It's a marathon. It's not a sprint, right?
Yes. You're planning for the future. What therapists in this day, like today, they don't really think about, what's going to happen in 10, 15 years. Like, for us, it went by so fast. Well, It goes by so fast. But if you don't think about your career in 10 to 15 years, you're not going to have one, because your joints start to hurt. Your back will start to deteriorate if you don't do self-care on it. So, there's a lot to think about. And yes, you live in the present moment, which is one of the things I teach all the time. But in this case, in our particular field as massage therapists, we have to think about the future, and we have to think about what's sustainable for us, what is healthy for us, and what can we do to take care of ourselves so we can keep taking care of others.
I love that so much. And, in the world of massage therapy, there are some places, and I'm not going to name any names, but there are some places that just work you ragged. You work your skin to the bone, massage after massage, and no breaks, and there's no boundaries. And it's very frustrating in our industry. And some people have to work in those places. But I want to enforce something that we kind of haven't really talked about much, which is setting boundaries for yourself, right? And making sure that the employer that you're working for, unless you're working for yourself, and then that's your own decision, but your employer should know where your boundary is. And maybe as a new therapist, you don't know that yet, But once you figure that out, how many massages can you do a day? Should you do a day? You might think you can do 6, 7, 8 massages a day, but is it sustainable? Like you were saying, think
Yes.
about, do you have to take the whole day off the next day after you've done 8 massages? Well, I would have to, because that's way too many for me.
Mm.
Know your boundaries and stick to them. Let your employer communicate that to your employer. If you want me to continue to work in this setting, I need this many massages a day. I need to be off these number of days. Maybe you work every other day instead of every day. But I think setting boundaries is important. Don't you think?
Yes, I think it's actually one of the most important things you should do from the get-go when you get hired on. That's a conversation to have during the interview process.
Absolutely. And I know it's scary because if you're thinking, I just want a job and I just want to work and make money and I don't care. I need to get money. I'm desperate or you know, don't sacrifice today. You want to make sure you're thinking about the long game. Like you said, the long-term plan. How would you say that to an employer if somebody was like, listen, we need you to do 6 massages a day? You've probably been in this situation, right?
I used to do 10 at the at the hotel sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, how do you communicate to your boss and say, I can't do this many a day?
So I don't really say I can't do those many a day. I would say, hey, I would love to talk to you about this. I can do 6 massages a day, but you're not going to get my best quality of work. And I'm not going to be the best version of myself the next day or the next day or the next day. So if you would like to get the best version of myself and my highest quality of work, I would do these many. I could do 4, okay, every single day for the next 2 years. I will be healthier, happier, and you could just hire somebody else part-time to come do those other 2 or 3 extra that you need, but you would get the highest quality of work. And I would, focus on that. They want the highest quality. Now, if they don't want the highest quality, you're not working for the right person. You're not in the right place. So that should be a red flag for you.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I mean, you want to take pride in what you're doing and you do want to give the best. I mean, I've talked on this podcast about being present in the moment, not thinking about the past and not thinking about the future or your shopping list or what you got to do when you get home. You need to be present for your client, present in the situation where you're in now, right? Not thinking about the past or the future. I mean, not that the past and the future isn't worth thinking about, but you want to do your best work for your client and they deserve your attention. They're paying for your attention. They're paying for your expertise. And if you've done 6 massages already today, you're spent. I mean, as much as you may need and want the money now, don't sacrifice today because you're sacrificing more than just the money that you're not making, right? You're sacrificing the longevity of your career, you're sacrificing your own health, and it's a beautiful industry. And people that are in massage, we love it. And if you're listening to the podcast, I'm sure you're one of these people because you've got to be a massage nerd to listen to this. And I love you all for being massage nerds. But I want to commend Maria for her heart and her passion and her skill and her love for the industry. I wanted to ask, is there anything that you want to share, struggles or opportunities or learning that you've learned over the years that you want to share with our listeners?
Ooh, there's so many. There's so many. My last learning opportunity was was not in massage therapy, but I'll make it short and then I'll go back to massage therapy. It's been in candle making actually. So, and everybody loves candles during a massage. So I bring that into my practice to really kind of accentuate the mood and not give my clients that have allergies a bad headache. So I love doing candle making. It's one of my passions and it's one of the things I have brought into my practice. But another opportunity that, going back to massage therapy and healing that I've had in the past was to be a co-facilitator for a woman's workshop a few years ago. And I've been doing these retreats and women's workshops in energy medicine and plant medicine, which really goes deep into those spaces within ourselves to look deep and heal things that regularly we don't heal just with a massage class or reading a book or doing a meditation. So that's a great opportunity that I've had and that currently I'm in the works of sharing that with the community. Another opportunity that I've had was working with an osteopath a few years ago. She taught me, she was like 92 years old, and it was in South America. And I don't know if she was still alive, but she just showed me all these manual techniques that she knew, and she could tell how someone was born just by touching them. She could she told me, she's like, hey, you had an accident a few years ago. They hit you from behind on this side. Your head went this way and that way. And I mean, she told me exactly all the injuries I had in that car accident just by touching me. And whenever I was learning with her, that was one of the years that it really awakened me and took me so much into my humility, because I thought I was this badass massage therapist. But when I started learning with her, I became so humbled, and I said, for the rest of my life, I promise to be open and to learn, because there's so much knowledge and wisdom from these experienced gurus out there that we haven't learned yet. And so learning from her really brought me down a whole notch and said, there's so many techniques out there that we could be doing to help people and to really connect with people if we get out of the way and get out of our heads. So, yeah. And really, that's an opportunity that taught me so much about our industry, because in our industry, we tend to be so competitive with each other, and I'm not going to help her, or because she's going to steal my techniques, or I'm not going to help her because she's going to steal my clients. But I'm bringing this new notion to the industry with these clients that come to see me that are massage therapists, where it's like, it doesn't have to be that way. We can all do so much and share so we can do better for the world. Like, if you change that mentality, which is what this beautiful osteopath taught me, and just connect and give our clients our gifts and really share with our community of massage therapists or healers, man, we would be amazing. And be really honest with ourselves too. It's, there's a client that she might not mesh with me, but she could be great for you, Julie. And I would be like, you know what? Julie might be really great for you.
Yeah.
And you know what? Let me send you to her, because she would, you would benefit more from her than what you're getting here. And that's just truly doing a service for the client. And that's one thing that osteopath taught me. And it's really exciting because you leave the fear out the door of not having a client on your table, but you also trust completely that there's going to be more walking into your door because you just let the fear go and you did the right thing. So that's some of the opportunities I've had. I've had many, but we would be here for like hours. So,
well, thanks for sharing them. I mean, I love the notion, and we talked about this in the James Waslowski episode, which is putting your pride aside and knowing that there's so much more to learn about the body. We just know a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of what our body is actually capable of. And the human body is just so incredible that we can heal ourselves, and we just know so little about it. And knowing that as a therapist and really embracing the fact that we don't know everything and that we have so much more to learn from every person that walks in our door, and from people like osteopaths that can really help open the door to new knowledge for us and new passion paths. Because as a seasoned massage therapist, we need those new passion paths, because we have to be reinvigorated in our industry. As we get tired, we don't want to be massage machines all the time. We don't want to just do the same thing on every person, because every person that walks in has a different need. We have to be prepared for that. And sometimes we're not. And that's where you're absolutely right. We have to work with each other and say, I am not the right therapist for you, but I know somebody who is. And let me introduce you to her or him. So I want to respect your time. One more thing. Is there anything else you'd like to share before we go?
I would like to share that, well, in the near future, actually this year, I will be doing a workshop on the Moon Key rites, which is the rites of initiation to heal yourself internally. If any of you as massage therapists or healers feel the call, stay tuned on my Facebook page or my website, thebravehummingbird.com. Check for the information. It's going to come this year if you're feeling the call to really heal within, to really boost your practice, to boost yourself, your life. It's that I'm offering to the community this year. It's coming up.
I love that so much. We'll have Maria's information and her bio and her link and how to contact her in however my podcast manager does it, in the information where you get podcast information. So just keep your eye on this woman, because she is the future. And I love her passion and her energy around the business. Thank you so much for joining us. I love you.
I love you.
Thank you so much for joining me on the Handcrafted Therapy podcast. I would love to hear from you. You can email us at podcast@handcraftedtherapy.com, or you can come by the store. It's at 3303 North Central Expressway, suite number 240 in Plano, Texas, 75023. Or you can connect with me on social, Instagram, Facebook, #HandcraftedTherapy. I'm Julie Alexander, and I wish you a very happy and healthy day.